This is kvci.blogspot.com. On YouTube, Boston G.B.R. As we listen to and review Facebook about Representative Amy Carter going to Thomasville, Brooks County, Lowndes County, on her tour that many of us knew nothing about, looking back over the Board of Education in Brooks County and how the Quitman 10, 3 of them were removed by an executive order from Georgia State Governor Nathan Deal before even going to trial. Looking back over how the news media in South Georgia and the Quitman Free Press and the Valdosta Daily Times and other television and radio stations have apparently proven themselves to be biased, in that in Walker Street Auditorium there were 150 to 200 people gathered on the Juneteenth, but yet nothing was published about it. It was as if though the tree fell in the forest and no one heard the sound. So why is it so quiet concerning the Quitman 10? Then on July the 17th, even before July the 17th, in fact, when the Quitman 10 were being arrested, and then following when the Georgia Bureau investigation went out into the fields of Brooks County, and then citizens talked about alleged intimidation by the GBI, yet you heard nothing about that for the most part, wherein individual citizens spoke on camera to tell their story about what they endured. You heard nothing about the agent in the white pickup truck that people were talking about in Quitman and Brooks County. We published it on our blog and we got hits from Marvin, Georgia and other rural areas wherein the elderly just totally refused to go back to the polls out of fear, out of fear, out of fear. And so we looked for CNN. We thought that voting would be of a major interest to the people in the news media in Georgia and South Georgia, but that were ignored. We thought that MSNBC, Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or some of the other great pioneers would at least say something. After all, I think one of the representatives, possibly one of the district attorneys or somebody I heard was somebody talking about being on Fox News and talked about the Quitman 10, but who traveled to show the other side of the alleged voter fraud concerning the Quitman 10? Then I attended the Brooks County Board of Elections meeting. Not that it was publicized, but that somebody got wind of it and they called me and I was there and I recorded it. You can look beneath this clip, beneath this video, and I will give you the link up, or just Google Boston G.B.R. and get the rest of the story of what took place in that meeting. And then the Secretary of State, Bryant P. Kemp, sent an investigator down to Brooks County the other week. And you should hear the stories that are being told. It reminds me of the 50s and 60s and early 70s concerning voter rights and voter suppression. Yet, what have you read about it in the Valdosta Daily Times, the Thomasville Enterprise, the Quitman Free Press? What about Commissioner James Maxwell speech that he gave at the Brooks County Board of Commissioners? Did the editors in the Quitman Free Press report it? Did the editors of the Quitman Free Press, and I do mean the Quitman Free Press, what did they say about it? This pattern and practice, This pattern and practice have existed for too long here in South Georgia, and it is indeed time for a change. And I'm 100% sure that the change will come. Because people are tired and sick and tired of these few people that are in the cliques and among the slicks that keep South Georgia in the backwoods of reality. Yes, but change will come because the God of our ancestors, the God that Dr. King talked about, the work that Dr. King did was in alignment with Jesus the Christ, the one that many go to church, placate, duplicate, and imitate, only to return home and become the same follower of Satan and Beelzebub as their family members and neighbors and fellow Georgians did in past and bygone history. Yet there are those who have heard of a man called Jesus, somebody who have heard of Jehovah, not the wicked God, but the true and the living God. Both black and white people, both black and white right people won't change, and they are speaking out now. Listen to Representative David Lucas. This was back in past history, ancient history now, concerning the Quitman 10, because there have always been somebody to stand with the Quitman 10 and stand up for what is right. Listen to this representative, been served 37 years in Georgia General Assembly. Listen to him tell his story about how they intend to support the Quitman 10 and will not let it go. I interviewed him, but just a snippet, please. Listen, and listen well. What happened here today, and where are we going?
Well, we are going back to Brooks County.
We were in Macon, Georgia.
We cannot allow people who use the system of voting and use absentee ballot, which is a paper trail, as we speak, that you can count over and over again to be intimidated by those forces lost in the election. And it is quite obvious that this, if it happens in Brooks County, it can happen in Bibb and it can happen in Fulton. And we cannot allow those folks in Brooks County, even though it might be a small area, be intimidated by law enforcement or anybody else when it comes to the right to vote.
Okay, now one other thing, I was intending to ask the senator, but he made it plain previously. But he mentioned you in terms of directing him to the problems in Brooks County. Can you go back and kind of reemphasize what happened in terms of?
I don't know where it was. I was riding in my car, and I think I was coming back from Mississippi. And I heard something on the radio about an incident in Brooks County and that folks had been locked up. And so I read the papers, couldn't find out anything, and I called Tyrone Brooks about it.
Yes, yes, yes. As it was in the days of old. God always got a ram in the bush to let us know what is going on. And we must stand up with the people who are standing up for what is right. It's just that simple. Brothers and sisters, stand up for truth and justice until you can stand no longer. And then when you can stand no longer, be like the other black and white right people who've gone on before us. Be willing to lay down your life on behalf of truth. America, America, America. When you love this country, you won't seek to be like Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, and others, seeking to divide us and tear this nation apart. For we look at the long history of our ancestors, and we know that God is on our side. We know this. The second chapter of Joel say, blow ye the trumpet in Zion. Sound an alarm in my holy mountains. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh and is nigh at hand. America had better wake up. America will go down the path as ancient Rome, in ruins, because the racism, the hatred, the unfair and unequal treatment under the Constitution of the United States of America, while people turn their head away. But in the end, truth, right, and justice will most certainly win, even if America blows away in the wind, because she refused to correct the error of her ways. To the Quitman 10+2, we stand with you. Peace be unto you. And although the news media don't see a need, we will continue out of our greed to keep you informed. We have a strong appetite to keep you informed and not be ignorant in 2012 and into the future. Bye-bye. We gone. By the way, Representative David Lucas, Representative Tyrone Brooks, Senator Robert Brown, Helen Butler, and the rest of you who came down under the banner of the SCLC, the NAACP, Gabio, and other civil rights organizations, we thank you. And the Most Honorable Reverend Joseph Lowry, thank you for coming to Brooks County. Thank you for standing strong. In my most humble opinion, you didn't get the respect that you were entitled to as a civil rights giant. But somewhere I read, God have no respect of persons, and that what I say unto one, I say unto all. Your reward is waiting for you. Just keep standing strong, my beautiful brother. Thank you so much. This is from the vaults of kvci.blogspot.com, which mean keeping Valdosta citizens informed, and on YouTube, Boston G.B.R. Next clip will be something for the brain. Bye-bye. Go.